Hey there. So I got asked a question recently by one of y'all, and by y'all I mean everyone in U.S. history, period 1. I'm not sure if you want me to say your name because this is the internet and people are really good at finding ways to dox you. And I'm pretty sure you're going to be the president one day, and also I was scared to ask. But anyways, pretty much the question was, how do you get inspired to draw, and what do I think about when I make art? And initially I was just like, oh yeah, I know exactly how that happens because I do it all the time. And then I tried to write it out and I found that's an extremely difficult question to answer, and ultimately I came up with a simple and somewhat half-baked answer that, quite frankly, is bad. So then I took a shower, made some dinner, and honestly, I'm not sure I still have an answer. So here's a fun fact. I don't write these scripts in one sitting. I actually write them over the course of multiple days because I have the attention span of a goldfish. But now I think I have an answer. Okay, I lost it 1 second. Okay, so it's tomorrow now, and I think I have an answer. And I wrote down a draft for the first time in my life. So here it goes. What I think about when I draw stuff, and also inspiration. So the first thing I think I need to define is what an idea is. My own definition of an idea is a mental noun, verb, or adjective. And yeah, I get it, that sounds really abstract because it is. So here's an example. Let's say I want to build a house in the middle of nowhere. As of now, I cannot build that house because I don't really have money, and also nowhere is becoming incredibly hard to find these days, so I guess I need to make nowhere. However, that house is still in my mind, not as a real place, but as an existing idea. Now with that basic definition, we can go on to the origination of ideas. In this working theory, I think there's two ways ideas originate. Sporadic origination and utilic origination. Sporadic origination is when ideas randomly pop into your head for seemingly no reason whatsoever. This is how a lot of abstract and complex ideas are made. It comes into play when you're taking a test and you're struggling with a problem and just guess. Then 9 hours later in bed you manage to find the solution, and more often than not, you realize you guessed wrong. Well, meanwhile, utilic origination are ideas that come from necessity and the need to fix an existing problem. Utilic ideas are typically easier to make and answer an already existing question or problem because they have a predetermined mold they need to fit. The real problem isn't coming up with an idea, rather it's seeing what parts fit in. This is essentially engineering and the basis for character design. For example, Blitzcrank from League of Legends. I've been playing that a lot, and that's why I talk about it a lot. Also, if you really like character design or like care about it at all, League of Legends is really good because they have like a lot of them, and you know, some of them are really good, some of them are pretty awful, but they're fun to analyze. So yeah, I recommend it. In-game, Blitzcrank is a tank support and grappler. So how did the game designer solve that issue? Well, for one, the obvious. He's a big steampunk robot, and he's metal and shiny. That communicates that he can take a lot of damage. He fits into the support archetype in personality and connotation. He's a golem, which in pop culture and the original Jewish folklore are man-made humanoid beings that protect people and areas. So in-game, he's designed to be around and support his team. His design fits into the grappler archetype in that he has these big ol' hands, right? And even when they're not fully extended, they're still huge. So this tells the enemy and the player that you really don't want to get grabbed by these big ol' hands. And here's just like a side note, I really like Blitzcrank, and he has like a lot more going on than just that. But that could be like worth an entire video, and this is not about him, so instead I'm going to move on. So yeah, that's it. But now that we have the origin of ideas covered, we can go on to the second basis for the question, inspiration, or more specifically, what inspires and or influences ideas. Inspiration is anything that can influence an idea, sometimes being an idea in and of itself. You can be motivated by just about anything, whether that comes from your friends, your surroundings, the media you consume, experiences, or anything like that. That's not to say that inspiration is solely external. I coin personality as a subcategory of inspiration, worthy of its own category due to its tendency to persist through multiple ideas by the same curator. And you can see this in pretty much every personal project you've ever consumed. For example, H.P. Lovecraft and his prominence in existential terror. Lovecraft was kind of a nut in that he was afraid of just about everything, and you can think I'm joking, but courtesy of this article I found online, the link is in the description, Lovecraft was scared of marine life, New York, fungus, non-Euclidean geometry, other races, fat people, being old, being cold, dogs, percussion instruments, and the list goes on. And I mean etc. here. There's a link in the description. Look at the article. It's really funny. All of these fears culminated in the big anxious ball that was H.P. Lovecraft. And that's probably why he was so good at writing horror stories, because he was scared of just about everything. So before we move on, I just want to say that I'm a stupid child that wrote a video essay, and this is not set in stone or even based in that much research. I just watch a lot of YouTube videos and do a lot of research at random about this sort of thing. So I don't really have that many sources that I can, like, bring up, because this is all based in prior knowledge and conversations that I've had with people, so I can't really recall exactly where this came from. So here's a list of the smart boys and girls I watch on YouTube. If you want to dig up where the basis for some of these ideas came from, this is a list of the channels that I watch. Yeah. And now with that out of the way, I can be my highly egocentric self and talk about what inspires me specifically and what I think about when I make things, because everyone should pay attention to me because I'm amazing. And I find this question really difficult because, for one, I often disagree with myself and it's really hard for me to make decisions, and this is why I shouldn't be able to drive. And for two, I don't really actively think about anything when I draw, which sounds weird. I'll try to explain it. It's kind of like weird middle ground between subconscious and just regular consciousness. That's what I go into when I draw. And like every once in a while, I'll make an active decision, like, I don't know, he should go here to emphasize he's lonely, I don't know. So it's just silly stuff, right? But like 99% of the time, I'm not paying attention. I'm not that smart. But yeah, so that means that most of the drawing actually comes in during the sketch phase, and this is the phase where like those ideas, like those ideas of origination come in, right? When I make sporadic things, I typically just like try not to think about it at all, and I just let my brain go haywire for a bit. For example, Centipede Man, in all his glory, he kind of just popped out of my head one day, and then he like flopped onto a piece of paper, and now I show it to everyone I meet. And when I make utilic things, I usually think about whatever that idea needs to convey. For example, this thing I draw myself as was designed to be easy to draw and make me happy. So he's literally just a square with a circle and some accessories on him. And so he's like easy to animate and stuff. And then I need him to make me happy and with his stupid little face, because, otherwise I'm going to go insane. I threw up in my mouth. I'm glad I stopped the recording there, because I made like a lot of weird, gross mouth sounds in the span of like 10 seconds, and I don't think you want to hear that. Anyways, in terms of inspiration, actually no, I gotta say something first. Do people look for inspiration? Is that a thing people like actively go out to try to find? Because like, I don't get it. I never do that. It's like I consume an ungodly amount of media. Don't get me wrong, I have a problem whenever I'm doing something that doesn't require, like, 100% focus. I'm watching YouTube or listening to music or something. So I kind of just always have a stream of information just shooting into my ears at all times. But it's like, still, I mean, that's just me. Do people, like, actually, like, go on walks and be like, I'm gonna find inspiration in the flowers? Because it's like, that doesn't sound fun, right? You go on a walk to enjoy the walk. You don't, like... I don't know. If you do that, I don't know, do whatever. But I'm not dissing on you or anything. But yeah, I just find it interesting. Anyways, okay. Okay, but in terms of like inspiration, just about everything I make adheres to some. Oh, my antivirus is trying to delete itself. Hold on a sec. Okay, just about everything I make, like, adheres to my personality in some sort of way. Now, why do all of my drawings look melancholy, off-putting, and sometimes just morbid? I don't really know. The physical things I'm inspired by tend to be people I know or look up to or simply just like, the music I listen to, life in general, the vast uncaring sea of the universe, cats, stuff like that. In sketches, I tend to draw things that make me happy, like Muscle Cat, the future girlfriend I'll never have, Lechuga, that's Lettuce in Russo. Sometimes I just let my brain go wild, and if you know me, you should never let me be alone for extended periods of time, or else really bad things happen. So after like 20 minutes, I'll look down at my paper and just say, oh my. And then sometimes I wake up and I tell myself, I'm going to make something that makes people feel bad. And then I do it. And then I show it to people. And I find it really funny. Okay, and yeah, oh my god. I gotta gather my thoughts for a sec. Okay, so when I'm out of the sketching phase, I really I don't pay attention at all. Like, I just, like, kind of just go into that subconscious phase I was talking about, where my brain is, like, 5% there, right? And that sounds really weird, but it's true. Yeah, so it's like, I don't know. I just like turn on YouTube or something because I don't want to be in my head for too long or things get wonky. So I turn on YouTube or music and then I kind of just like shade because I can't look at colors without vomiting a little. It's just everything's monochrome, everything's black and white, no questions. But yeah, it really that's it. And then when I'm like actually done with the drawing, well then there's like two possibilities, right? Number one, I take a picture of it, I post it on Instagram. Sometimes I post it to like an art sharing, whatever. Probably not though. And then I put it in the box in my basement and I never look at it again. And then other times just like straight in the box, no question. It's not even that maybe it's just like I don't really care all that much. Come on down to Trevor's big old bowl of self-pity. We are selling big pieces of a little bit of sadness, but like not too sadness jokes for a whole 25 cents. You buy 5, you get 25 cents off. What a deal. That's $1. Come on down. Just call 1-800-254-3210-98. Get yourself a big old box of semi-sad jokes, but like they aren't too bad. Yeah, come on down. And yeah, okay, so this recording session is nearing 12 minutes, so this is gonna take a long time to animate. So I'm just gonna like call it here, right? Because I think I answered the question. I hope I answered the question, future Mr. President. I think it's gonna happen. But yeah, so I hope I answered your question. Thank you for watching my video. Hope I made you laugh. If I didn't, I hope it wasn't too much of a waste of time. And have a good day. I also have a Redbubble now. It's in the description. You can look at it if you want. Like, I didn't want to, like, post it, because, we do that, like, posting thing. I didn't want to post it, because then it feels like, hey, everyone in my class, buy my things. Can that be really weird? So I'm putting it at the end of this video, because I feel like that's less disgraceful. But yeah, that's it. Goodbye. Also have a nice day.